right, so question number 4 says, completely factor the trinomial if possible. 4x squared minus 2x minus 12. Well, the first thing I notice about this is, yes, it's 3 terms, but this one actually has a GCF that I can factor out of all 3 terms. And so before I do anything with factoring, I'm going to factor out a GCF of 2. 4x squared divided by 2 is going to give me 2x squared. Negative 2x divided by 2 is going to give me negative x. And then negative 12 divided by 2 is going to give me negative 6. Now that I've done that, now it's going to make my factoring a little bit easier. So I'm going to go through rainbow method. So a equals 2, b equals negative 1, and c equals negative 6. So I'm going to set up my x. A times c, 2 times negative 6 is going to give me negative 12, and then b of negative 1. Okay, because the top is negative, I'm going to have 1 positive and 1 negative number. So list off your factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. The larger factor is going to match the sign of b, and so I'm going to have negative 4, positive 3. Before you move on, check that. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So I can't do the shortcut because a is not 1, but I can finish this out with the, oops, wrong one, with the long one. And you want to, when you go to fill that in, you want to use the thing inside the parentheses. Right, so I'm going to replace this with negative 4x and plus 3x. Carry everything else down. Go to my factor by grouping. 2x squared and negative 4x have a 2x in common. 2x squared divided by 2x is going to give me x. Negative 4x divided by 2x is going to give me negative 2. Carry down my sign. Second parentheses, 3x and negative 6 are going to have a 3 in common, and I'll be left with x minus 2. Write down what's being repeated, x minus 2, and what's left over. Now, that is only this part right here. And so, my final answer is going to be the GCF, the GCF 2, and then x minus 2, 2x plus 3. So that's what I got when I factored by rainbow. That is the GCF. The order doesn't matter of the parentheses. However, the GCF we do write out front just for sake of convenience. So put the GCF out front and then factor the parentheses like normal. And that would be your final answer. All right, the next one, number 5, again, that's show your work, ignore. Says completely factor the given polynomial if possible. If the polynomial cannot be factored, type in F in the answer box. Okay, so here I've got something slightly different. I'm still factoring, but I'm not going to go through rainbow because we have a shortcut, a special case. This was out of 13.4. So our special cases are going to be all of the 2-term binomials. And so this one is 2 terms. And to figure out which type it is, you're going to look at the exponent and the sign. And so this is a difference because it's subtraction of squares because the exponent is squared. And so with my difference of squares, that formula tells us that I'm going to have a plus b, a minus b. And so here was the formula. And so to get to that formula, what we need to do is break down all of these into what can be multiplied by itself to get to 64. So 64 is 8 times 8, or 8 squared. X squared is x times x. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the 25. 25 is going to be 5 times 5. And so what we're going to do from here, make sure whatever is to the left of the sign in your problem is going to be to the left of the sign in your parentheses. And so I have 8x plus 5 and 8x minus 5. And so what I did, I took the 5s and split them up, and I took the 8x and I split them up. And then that would be your final answer. 8x plus 5, 8x minus 5. All right, and then the last one is going to be another special case. And so this one, it looks similar to what we just did, except now I've got cubes. So this one is going to be a sum of cubes. So because those exponents are to the third power, it's going to be a sum or difference of cubes. And then the sum is because that middle sign is positive. And so the first thing that I would recommend writing down is your formula. And that thing comes from that factoring flow chart. But our formula is going to be a cubed plus b cubed. That just tells you here's the formula you're picking. Over here is the factored form, what we are looking for. And so this is the part that we're filling in for our answer. Okay, so we need to find A and B. Okay, so step 1, find A and B. And typically to do that, we're going to have to do some rewriting. Okay, so I'm going to write it down over here since I'm running out of room up there. X cubed plus 8y cubed. Well, x cubed I can write as x times x times x. 8 I can rewrite as 2 times 2 times 2. And then y cubed I can rewrite as y times y times y. Notice I did a little rearranging down there so that I had 2y times 2y times 2y. I used that commutative property that said I can rearrange the order of stuff. And so now I have that A is going to be x, because I'm just going to pull one of those out, and B is going to be 2y. So I'm going to pull one of those out. Now I can go to fill in my formula. So A is going to be x, and then B is going to be 2y. And so now what I'm going through, I'm just going through and I'm filling in everywhere I see an A, I'm replacing it with an x, and then the formula says square it, minus AB means A times B. We just don't write the times symbol. And so I'm going to fill that in. A is x times B, which is 2y, plus B squared, which is 2y. I need parentheses because I need to remember that the 2y is all squared. So that's what those parentheses say. And then this parenthesis is the parenthesis in the formula. So the squared is inside the formula. inside of the parentheses, so I need to keep it that same way in my formula. Okay, so then step 2, once I found A and B, step 2, plug into your formula. And then step 3, simplify. If you need to, you won't always have to, but for some cases you're going to have to simplify in the factored part. And I mean just square some stuff or multiply. In this specific problem, I only need to simplify here and here. Nothing else simplifies in terms of x, 2y, x squared. I can't rewrite anyway. So I'm just going to copy those back down. So I'll have x plus 2y, x squared minus, all right, that middle part, x times 2y, I can write as minus 2xy. Just do a little rearranging. And then 2y squared is going to be 2y times 2y, which is going to give me 4y squared. And so there I'm going to have plus 4y squared. Do not forget to square everything. And so here I see a lot of students who they square the y, but they forget about the number. So make sure that you don't forget that it's 2y all squared, which is 2y times 2y. And so my final answer would be just that, x plus 2y times x squared minus 2xy plus 4y squared would be the whole thing you would type in, and that would be your final answer. That is as factored as it's going to go. All right, so now that you have finished the test, hopefully you've taken this on your own. Once you've finished the test, then you can go ahead and submit it in the top left, click yes. Now you have the option to go through and see your score, but then also retake if you want to try it again or review it. And so the review is really nice because it's actually going to show you right there, Open Tutor. It will actually show you what your answer was, which I didn't put one in, but then the solution for how to get the correct answer. And it's going to do that for every question. And so it's a really good opportunity. When you're done with that, you can click End Review. And then if you want, you can go in and start it again. You have unlimited attempts.